it's nice to be wanted. Yeah, it's nice to be needed and have someone want you sometimes. So the question is, inside the course, do they really need you? Hi, I'm Sam Nordberg. Welcome to this week's mini training. And in case you hadn't guessed from the beginning, we're talking about whether they really need your input inside a course. So there's a couple of ways I see people selling courses, and I want to talk about the difference between the two and which one might work for you. You see it realistically two ways. Way number one is they sell the course with no input whatsoever. So you buy something that's completely self-paced, all of the videos or content are online, and you just go through them at your own rate and you're done. Yep, course. The way number two is you have some sort of input from the person who wrote the course or from some other facilitator. So there might be group calls, there might be one-on-one calls, there might be a private support group where you can ask questions, there might be face-to-face meetings and workshops, it could be a whole range of things, but where you get some sort of input and interaction with someone as part of the course. Normally there's a big difference in price, and sometimes people, when they're selling the course, sell both versions and you can buy either. So if you've written your course and you're going to put it on sale, you might sell it really quite cheap, where they just buy the content, they can do whatever they want with it, done and dusted. Or where they join the 6-week program, they get group calls from you once a week, they get the group where they can ask questions, and that version will be quite a bit more. I'm sure you've seen it around when people sell the one without them and the one with them. Some people don't bother giving two options, you just either have without or with, and you have to buy whatever's there. The moral of the story then is, if they can sell one without them quite cheap and one with them quite expensively, does it matter which one you buy? And does it matter when you're writing one, which one you do? Do your students really need you? As always, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? It kind of depends. It kind of depends on the person, it kind of depends on the subject, it kind of depends on the length of time you're going to be asking them to do something for. All right, let's have a look at a couple of those variables. So, it kind of depends on the person. There are some people in life who are highly driven, highly motivated, will buy something and get stuck in. There are the kind of people in life who need deadlines, who need some assistance, who need poking and prodding, and who will get there eventually maybe. Honestly, I'm an eventually maybe person. If you sell me a course that doesn't have a deadline, I will put that thing off and put that thing off and put that thing off. It will be in my to-do list for 6, 12 months because I don't have to do it right now, and I have other things that are more urgent or important that are going to happen first. Yeah, that's the way for a lot of people. Not all people. Some people go, you guys are really organized. Some people are not that organized. So in terms of, do your students really need that input, it kind of depends on the person, and quite a lot of people do need some kind of guidance or input, or at least time frame to work by, to encourage them to do the course and to encourage them to get the most from it. Of course, you want your students to actually do the course. There is no point someone buying it and not doing anything with it. That's no good for you, because it means they don't get any results. It means they don't tell their friends about it. It means they don't shout your name from the rooftop because your course was super amazing, because they haven't even started it yet, so they don't know. You need them to do it. So that's one, it kind of depends on the person. Two, it kind of depends on the subject matter. Is the subject matter you're teaching something where people need help? For example, if you're just sharing your recipes, maybe it's a 5 weeks to cooking better course, and we all know I need that, and it's step-by-step recipes and video instructions, they might not need any more than that. If the recipes are really clear and the videos are very straightforward and they've got all the information inside the course, they might not really need you, and that might be okay. If your course is something about, I don't know, let's say eating disorders or emotional problems or something that's very personal to someone, then I can guarantee they probably are going to need you, because you're not going to be able to include all the variables in a video. You're not going to be able to give them the support they need to make the changes they need. If you don't actually talk to them in some way, shape or form, they're not going to be able to get the changes they need in their life without support. So you need to make sure you're providing that support. So it kind of depends on the subject matter. And lastly, well, it kind of depends on lots of things. But, you need to consider if they're going to get the most from it. Let's just keep it that simple. Let's not go any further. If they're going to get the most from it. If you can sell it without your input and you know they will still get results, and I'm talking honestly here. Honestly, you know they will do it and they will still get the most out of it and they will still get results, then sell it. Without your input, that's fine. But if you honestly know that they will need you in some way, shape or form, that if you sell it without a group call or if you sell it without support group, or if you sell it without input of some sort, if you honestly know that they're not going to get the most out of it without that help, don't offer it. All those pages I land on where they're offering the cheap one and the expensive one, if I know that they know that the expensive one is the only one where you're going to get any results, then it kind of frustrates me to see them selling the cheap one. Because yeah, it might be cheaper, but if you're going to invest the money, you still want results, right? And if you're not going to get them from that version, then why sell it? So the beginning question was, do they really need you? Do they need your input inside your course? Should you be selling it without you, or self-paced, or should you be selling it with group calls and support groups and all sorts of things? And I'm going to leave the answer being it's up to you, but think honestly. Will they get the results you want them to get without you? And if the answer is no, don't sell it without you. You're not doing them a favour, and you're definitely not doing you a favour. What do you think? I'd love to hear your opinion below. As always, I'm not always right, but I do offer you a version of what I believe to be true, so tell me down below. What do you feel about whether your course should have input or no input? Should you be a part of a support group? Should you offer coaching calls? And what do you think about people when they do offer no support and a support option? Which do you prefer to buy? And, what do you think is the best for you? And lastly, as always, I will see you next week.